my PCOS video. So I have decided to do a video about my health, where I'm at with it, and where me and my partner are at with it all, and talk about it really, just talk about my PCOS. I know there's lots of women out there that had the same thing, because it's 1 in 10. I think people say it's 1 in 10 that have PCOS. So polysistic ovarian syndrome is basically a hormonal imbalance. So your body can have 2 of the 3 symptoms, I believe, and they are irregular periods. When I say irregular periods, I don't just mean cycles that are all over the place. It can mean really heavy bleeding, or not very much bleeding, or just anything you feel like is just not right. Really, go and talk to your doctor about it anyway. But you know, it does also mean that the cycles can be all over the place. I remember I had cycles that were, I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, irregular periods, cysts on your ovaries, and what was the other one? Oh yes, sort of hormonal things like losing your hair, or you can grow like excessive hair, like sort of around here, and things like that really. There are a few more symptoms, I think, but it's normally if you have 2 of those 3. The hormonal one that I mentioned, where you can sometimes grow hair, that's checked from a blood test to confirm whether you have them or not. So that is irregular periods, cysts on your ovaries, and hormones, sort of like testosterone in your blood. So you only have to have 2 of them, like I said, 2 of the 3. And the way that you find that out is if you're having any of those symptoms, just go to your doctor. There's loads online on the NHS website as well, so have a look on there. There's actually loads of PCOS websites as well, so go and have a look on those. And it gives you loads of information. And what will happen is, for me, I had my miscarriage in January. I had my miscarriage in January. I was 9 weeks. It was horrible. I mean, we're in September now. It's coming up to nearly a year now that I've been trying for a baby. So I came off my pill last October. So we're nearly there, and it's a bit emotional actually. But we're coming up to nearly that I've been trying to get pregnant for a year now. So I had my miscarriage, went through that bleeding. When that had finished, I bled, I'd say, for about 2 weeks. When that finished, January, February, I had a cycle. March, I did not have a cycle. April, I did not have a cycle until the end of April. So I went sort of 2 months with, I think I had a cycle of 56 days. It was either 56 or 62. I can't remember. It's on my app. But yeah, a long time, not a normal cycle. So that's why I contacted the doctor, and at first I thought maybe it's just because I'd had a miscarriage, because sometimes when you've had a miscarriage, your cycles can go a bit funny. So I wasn't overly worried about it. But then the more I went online, the more I looked online, and it said about hair thinning, which I have quite badly. Although my hair is very thick, up sort of towards the back, it's really thinning out to the point where I actually had patches, just like of clear sort of bald patches. My biggest one was probably about that big. It's cleared up massively now because I use the shampoo, the Waterman's one, which is really good, and that's helped it out. But yeah, so I had that hair thinning, irregular periods, and then it was when I started looking more into it, I realised how many of the symptoms I have missed. So my whole sort of menstrual life, I guess, since I started getting my periods when I was a teenager, has really been crazy. Like, I've had cycles that were all over the place. I always had really heavy bleeding. I remember being at school and I would have so much pain. I passed out once. My teacher had to carry me out of the lesson, and my dad actually had to come and pick me up from school, and he worked in London at the time, so he had to come and get me from school. And yeah, it clicked in my brain that I've actually always struggled with my periods, always. Even when I was trying for my son, who's now 4, they were so on and off, and I just never thought anything of it, because I was always either on the pill or something. So I thought, oh, it's just me coming off the pill, or it's just me, you know, because I'm stressed, or I've not been eating well or something like that. But actually it explained about the past, it explained about this particular window that I mentioned in March sort of slash April. So he said, okay, we are gonna send you off for a blood test, a hormonal blood test, to find out what's going on, if you're if you know, things are being checked. I can't remember exactly what the bloods were, but I know that they took a lot. They filled like 4 or 5 of those of the vials up, so they must have been for all different things, and they all came back normal. So I remember being so relieved, and I was like, oh, I don't have PCOS, they're normal, and that's really good. And then he said, because of your irregular periods, I'm just not, I want to check other things, because I'd also mentioned that I'd had some pain on my left side. It's not like an intense pain, but it's, if I bend down, like even if I'm getting food out the freezer or something like that, it will just give me a bit of a niggle, and I'm like, oh, like, it's a bit weird. So he put me for an ultrasound, and your ovaries are normally shaped like a grape, like really smooth like a grape, and mine were not like that. Mine were like pomegranate seeds, so mine were like really bumpy, and I saw it the minute she got up, because obviously I'd done my own research into it and what they would look like, so I sort of prepared myself. And when the lady done the scan, she was great, by the way, she was really nice. She said it sort of as nice as she could, and she was like, yeah, you know, you do have a few cysts on your ovaries. And when she said that, I just was like, right, okay. And in that moment, Nick was with me at the time, and he was just like, it's okay, like, you know, it's fine. I was like, and I was okay, I didn't cry or anything. I was like, right, okay. So what does that mean? And she said, well, it just means that getting pregnant can take sometimes longer, and if at all, it can lead to fertility issues. And I was like, right, okay. She said, but everyone's PCOS is to them, so it's everyone's their own individual case. So I was like, okay. And I went away, and I said to, I got in the car actually with Nick, and then I cried loads. I think it just hit me. I was like, oh my God, I have this thing wrong. And you just feel like you've got something wrong with you, and your brain does do the worst things. Like, you just think, I'm never going to get pregnant. I've got this now. What do I have to do? Everything, blah, blah. And it just overwhelms you. It really does. And also, I felt so bad for Nick. Like, we got married in July, you know, forward to, I found this out, this I found out in April. And, you know, we had, by this point, I should have been further along in my pregnancy, but I wasn't. So we were getting over the fact that we'd lost. We were also getting over the fact that I wasn't pregnant again by that point, which you know, I don't know, everyone's different, but when I had my miscarriage, I really just wanted to get pregnant again as soon as possible. It's a definite, you know, you feel this emptiness that you have to feel. And then, yeah, so I found out that I had PCOS. I went to the doctors, like, for a follow-up, and they showed me, like, things with the scan that I had, and I asked sort of how many cysts do I have. And he said, I've got 18 on my left and 15 on my right. And I was like, okay, do they need to be removed? Like, what does that mean? And he said, well, no, they're just small cysts. So they are cysts from where my body hasn't released an egg. So all of those cysts should have been eggs that should have been released over the years that I've had menstrual cycles. And I'm only 26, so there's quite a few, really, I think, that haven't, when I haven't ovulated. So you could still have periods and still bleed and not ovulate necessarily. And that's where I'm at the moment. So from then on, when I spoke to the doctor, oh sorry, I just kicked the camera. I said to him, what do I need to do? What do I need to change? Now, I'm not overweight. I am a little bit chubby. So I'm a size 12 to 14 at the moment, but normally my comfortable range is like a 10 on tops and a 12 on bottoms. But at the moment I've gone a bit further over from that because of the miscarriage. I ate quite a lot and grieved quite a lot and put on a bit of weight. So I'm working really hard to get rid of that now, especially now that I'm doing a half marathon in March. Ooh. So I'm trying my best, sort of lose a bit of weight, get my body back into training and just get really healthy. And I spoke to the doctor and he said, you really need to focus on your diet just as much as exercise. Exercise is good, but if you exercise too much, it can actually screw things up a little bit. So I try and exercise at least 30 minutes every day, but if I can't, I walk my kids to and from school and it's quite a hefty walk, so that's quite good for me. But yeah, so I do that, and also I'm trying to eat a lot better. Now, when I spoke to the doctor about diet, he was very vague and said that there's so much he could tell me, but it would take him all day. So to go away, to look online and research into what foods, and I can see why he said that, because the minute I typed in, PCOS, dietary needs, or whatever I typed, it was just a never-ending list of food I cannot eat. So it's no gluten, there's no dairy, low carb, like really low carb. Like, for instance, a treat is a sweet potato. I need to stay away from the fatty foods. I need to really have a really high vegetable intake, especially like dark leafy vegetables. I just basically need to eat really, really healthy. And there's actually a lot of women who've gone vegan since having PCOS, and it's helped them with that as well. So because there's so many hormones pumped into meat, it can affect it quite a bit. But I do eat meat, so I do eat chicken and things. I don't eat certain meats. I don't eat lamb. I just don't like it. But I do eat chicken, but I just try and be a lot more healthier. Like, we have to lower down the intake of McDonald's and things like that. And I just have to eat a really sort of good protein-based diet. And when I read it all, and I can't even go into it because I'd be here all day, but the diet side of it is so overwhelming. I actually bought a book as well, a PCOS book, because I figured I'd just get a book and see what things say in there, and that was just like, it just scared me. I don't think I'd let myself take it in that I have this, and I was just like, straight away when I found out, I was like, right, I need to know everything about it. I need to know what I can do. I need to do everything. We're going to get pregnant. We're going to be fine. And I had this vision in my head. I said to Nick, I'm going to get pregnant before it becomes a year that we've been trying. And here I am. I'm not pregnant. And yeah, it's a bit shit. So, in another good note, I have been having cycles that are consistent. So the last 3 periods that I've had have all been 30 to 31 days, which is really good. And I think that is just from me exercising, which I've been doing loads, eating well, which I'm trying to do, but it's a bit hard, especially with I just had my friend's lovely wedding and I had a bit of alcohol there. I'm not going to have alcohol, but it's fine. I allow myself to treat myself as well. As much as I want to be pregnant, of course I do. I still have to live. I still have to enjoy my life. I'm not going to focus on this one thing. I need to live beyond that. So it has helped me though, because obviously my cycles are consistent. So I've had 3. So I called my doctor up and I said, I've had 3 consistent cycles now. When that happens, what the doctors can do for you is they can order a blood test to check your hormone levels and see if you're ovulating. Because my concern was, yes, I might be having these periods, but I'm clearly not ovulating, because I felt like I would be pregnant by now if I was. I've literally just had that today, actually. I'll show you my arm. It's not too bad, to be fair. The guy was quite nice, but I've had that today. And my husband had a little treat. He has had to fill a pot and give that into the doctors for them to check his little swimmers and see if they're all healthy and things. It's just, I don't think Nick has any concerns health-wise. It was just recommended from my doctor, just an overall check of both of us, because it's been a year now. So yeah, we're doing that, and that's where we are at the moment. So I get the results next week, and I'll post a little video up about my results, and I'll let you know about Nick's results as well. I really hope that I am ovulating, even just to be told, yeah, you are ovulating. Like, I'll be like, oh, thank God for that. Even if it takes me another 6, 7, 8, 9 months to get pregnant, at least I'm ovulating. And I just hope my cycle just stay healthy. So if you made it through this 15-minute video, thanks. And I'm sorry that I ramble so much. That's just the way I am. But yeah, so that's where we're at the moment. I'll do another update on my PCOS at some point. There's a lot of other points that I would like to make about it. But, I mean, you know, research into it, because the chances are there may be a woman in your family that has it and doesn't know about it. And you can do a lot to help them. So, yeah, thanks. And I'll speak to you guys soon.